G'day and welcome to Southwest TAFE's TQC video on the interactive whiteboard from BENQ. Just tap on the guest access you're in and then tap on the whiteboard icon at the bottom, and that will bring up your whiteboard for you to work on. And you can just draw on there with your finger and the whiteboard will pick it up. So you're touching the pen icon, you can adjust the thickness of the pen so that you can get a better, more easily seeable line. But if you need a fine line, you can run it right back down. You can change the colour of what you're going to do. So you can use one of the whiteboard pens that comes with the unit, and I'll show you how to use those in a moment. So lots of different colours that you can use just by touching the pen icon at the bottom. You can also change the background of the screen. So there's a number of different background options, different colours. So different colours work well for different types of students. So you might have students with dyslexia, and so the backgrounds work for them. So you can also erase just using your palm of your hand or your fist. You don't need to press the eraser button. Just make a fist or use the palm flat of your hand, and you can just erase what's on the screen. So going back to our background, so there's basic white, there's a couple of different coloured options, some darker options. So sometimes it's better for people to be able to view it with a dark background. That include so with the eraser, you just click on the eraser and then you circle the item you want to erase, and it removes it. So there's also a background for handwriting for primary school children. That you can use that gives you the lines that a primary school teacher would use when they're teaching handwriting. So again, using the eraser, just circle the item and it disappears. So there's also a stave there for if you're teaching a music class and you wanted to notate some music, you can do that on the screen as well. It's also grid patterns. So if you've got to do something that involves drawing three-dimensional items, you can use the grid patterns that give you a decent piece of graph paper to be able to get your lines reasonably straight. So this one's just a square grid. It's really handy if you're trying to get proportions correct for something where you're trying to demonstrate. And also, this is a good one if you are setting up a checklist that you can put onto the screen. So you can set up your little checklist. So there's an undo function. So you press the button there, and it's an undo. So it takes you back the steps that you were previously. And there's a range of other options there that you can use. I think that's gridiron, soccer, basketball. So it gives you some things that you could use there. So this is just looking at the pens. So there's two pens. They have coloured ends on them, on the top and bottom. So those pens, if you touch them on the front of the screen, at the bottom there's the BENQ sign at the bottom of the screen. So the idea being you can just use it and it'll be black, but if you touch it on the screen, it makes a noise, a ding-dong sound, and it changes the colour, whatever the colour end that you put up against the BENQ sign. So using the pointer tool, you can actually circle an object and then move that object on the screen. So if you were drawing something or writing something, you wanted to rearrange your screen rather than having to rub it out and start again, you can simply just move them on the screen. And then I want to remove something. Again, I go to the erase tool, circle the item I want to remove, and it can remove that item without affecting the items around it. So that's the basic functions of using the whiteboard. We'll be looking in the next video at some of the other functions that are available.